Bula Vinaka Boxing fans, Terence Bud Crawford beats Israil Madrimov for the WBA Super Welterweight title in the 154-pound division, becoming the new champion, but also, more importantly, becoming a 4-weight world champion. Terence Bud Crawford is now in the same league of achievements, as you can say, as Manny Pacquiao, 4-weight world champion. Well, he's actually, more than 4 weights. Oscar De La Hoya and also Floyd Mayweather. Those are the other 3 that have won in 4 different weight classes. Is Canelo also there as well? I'm not too sure if it's 4, but look, this fight was at times very technical, a chess match. At times it was quite boring, and at times there was not a lot to be able to decide either way. I found it very hard to score this fight. I kind of gave up and thought, I'm just going to enjoy it and just listen to what the judges are saying. It's funny how Sean Porter was disagreeing quite heavily with Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora. However, remember, Chris Mannix and Sergio Mora are shills for Mr. Eddie Hearn, and Madrimov was a Hearn fighter and a DAZN fighter, and Terence wasn't. So of course they're going to have to give Madrimov more of the, kind of lean more towards him. The way that I saw the fight was that at 10 rounds, I had the fight even, right? So I had it, after 10, it was 5 apiece. 5 to Madrimov, 5 to Terence Crawford. And then the last 2 rounds, 11 and 12, I believe, is what won Crawford the fight. He really came out in those last 2 rounds, and credit to him, man. That's what good champions do. It's those rounds are so important, the championship rounds. And I felt like Bud came out quite aggressive, landed more of the effective punches in 11, and certainly in 12, he really came out. Even his corner, even Madrimov's corner said he's going to try and come out and knock you out. And, Bud did come and do it, and that is what won him the fight. If Madrimov had won either one of those rounds, it would have been a draw, because 2 judges had it, 115-113 to Crawford, and then one had it 116-112. I think the 115-113 is fair. I give Madrimov at least 5 rounds. I don't know how you would give Madrimov 4 or less rounds in that fight. I felt like his footwork, his angles, and his right hand was working really well against Bud. I felt like Bud was really trying to figure Madrimov out, but then he started to catch him with some good uppercuts and hooks himself, and he realized that southpaw was going to be the way. He changed a little bit at the start, switching between orthodox and southpaw. This is Bud, but he realized that southpaw was going to take away that power shot, especially the right hands to the body for Madrimov, and that was the difference. I was quite excited about this fight. I literally thought, because I didn't know much about Madrimov. I knew that he was a decorated amateur, over 300 amateur fights and wins, only 10 pro fights, had also had a draw in one of his fights that shouldn't have been a draw apparently. But you could see the skill. 10 fights versus 40 fights, and yet he goes, it's the first time Terence Crawford has gone to decision since 2016. Do you know what I mean? 8 years? 8 years. The last 11 fights he's had stoppages, and Madrimov went to the distance, not into the distance, but really in a really close fight. Off the back of that performance and the performance that I saw Canelo against Munguia, I feel that a jump to 168 pounds is a jump too far right now. He needs to, if I was advising Bud, I'd be like, try and become undisputed at 154. Imagine that. He's already 2-weight undisputed, 4-weight world champion. Try and collect all the belts at 154 pounds. And then see if the Canelo fight's there, because then you would have been a lot more accustomed to this weight. Canelo's going to be older. Terence isn't any too much younger himself. But I think that'll give him more experience at that heavier weight. If he was to go in the next 1 or 2 fights up to 168, if he couldn't stop or hurt Madrimov, he ain't doing nothing to Canelo. Love him or hate him. I mean, and he doesn't have the punch, volume, and output of a Bivol to just outbox, Canelo across 12 rounds. Crawford is a different type of a fighter. He relies heavily on the counterpunch and, his angles, and kind of looks at what you're doing, whereas in Bivol is just all-out attack. All-out attack, keeps throwing. So I think it isn't good matchmaking if he was to go and fight Canelo now. What's next for Crawford? I'd love to see him try and pick up some more belts in the 154-pound division, try and go for undisputed. I feel like the Spence rematch is also a good option, but also a fight against Boots Ennis. But if I was him, I'd be like, I've got the belt at 154 pounds. I already became undisputed at 147. I'm not coming down now. If you want to fight me, come up to 154 pounds. So those are the things that could happen. I wouldn't mind seeing Ryan Garcia versus Terence Crawford. I think that would be a good fight. I think Ryan needs to come back and have another nice win after his ban. And then we could see that. We might even see Devin Haney challenge Crawford in the future. But we just have to wait and see. But that's how I see it. I mean, to be honest, I'm a bit disappointed as a fan. I think the event was really good, but in the fighters that I was going for Jared Anderson to stop Martin Bakole or make him quit or even, win comfortably. He got knocked out and he got obliterated. I was hoping for Ruiz Jr. to beat Miller with those hands and sort of really set the world on fire, because everyone's so excited with Ruiz when he's up. And I was really hoping for Terence Crawford to make a huge statement to set up a potential Canelo fight. And all of those 3 things that I was hoping for failed. Anderson got smashed. Ruiz got a gifted draw that probably shouldn't have been a draw. And Crawford didn't look convincing against Madrimov, and some people thought he actually lost. So all in all, I kind of feel like, like not really satisfied or happy from a fan perspective, but from a boxing enthusiast, some incredible fights. And I'm going to go back and watch those fights again because I thought they were awesome. I'm going to go back and watch Anderson Bakole. Going to definitely watch Ruiz and Miller. And I don't know if I could watch Crawford and Madrimov again because that was a bit boring. So maybe just try and watch it in spaces. But yeah, good event all around. Riyadh season comes to the US, sells out 23,000. Next stop is Wembley. Joshua Dubois. That's going to be amazing. Then Riyadh season opens in Riyadh. That fight's going to be incredible. Beterbiev versus Bivol. And then the big one, my boy, the GK, the big GK. Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, tries to get his titles back against the Cossack Warrior. The pound for pound, number 1 in my opinion, Alexander Usyk. The unbeatable, in my opinion, right at this stage, unstoppable warrior. I don't see anyone beating him. But he's still human. And if he's got 2 arms and 2 legs, if anyone can do it, it can be Tyson Fury. But let me know your thoughts. Did you like the event? Did you like the result with Crawford and Madrimov? And what's next for both of these fighters? Drop a comment. Hit that subscribe link. And as always, you're watching Seru Bale's Boxing Undisputed. Vinaka.